Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the latest issue of Warhammer 40k Combat Patrol magazine. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and of course drop a comment down below. Love hearing back from you guys. It goes a massive way to helping out the channel too. Now, this week we are on issue number 59, and in all honesty it's one of the ones that I must admit I was really looking forward to, and that is the Orc Boom Dakka Snazzwagon issue. So one issue and we get a super cool vehicle for the Orc range, all on one frame, and obviously this huge base here for it. In all honesty, this is one of the coolest vehicles in Warhammer 40k. One I must admit I've been really looking forward to. As soon as we kind of saw that we were getting this is definitely a thing that I was looking forward to. Super cool. I'm going to enjoy building that when I get the chance, but it'll be super cool and it'll be well worth it when you do get the chance to build it. So real cool stuff there. Going into this issue, there's not a lot of lore. However, we are greeted by our build guide. So the top tip for building the Boom Dakka Snazzwagon is build it all in stages. So you have sub-assemblies. So one sub-assembly is going to be this piece here, which is parts 1 and 2 essentially of your build, which gives us the Grot blaster to kind of stick on there, and it will also give us the Grot hanging on, who is bolted to the front of the vehicle. Two of the quirky little bits for it, and that's parts 1 and 2 of our build. There are obviously going to be more parts, so part 3 is the actual main crux of the vehicle anyway. So we go through parts 3A all the way through and following all this to add all these little bits and pieces and details and everything like that to the vehicle, which all adds up in the long run and kind of adds to its very scrappy kind of nature, which makes it look really cool. And there are probably going to be some bits and pieces you will never see once you've painted it. So but yeah, it's super cool, super fun. I genuinely do like any of the vehicles in Warhammer 40k. Most of them are really good fun. Boom Dakka Snazzwagon being probably the top one, and then followed by things like the Sagittor from the Leagues of Votann range. The Hecaton Land Fortress is a fantastic looking vehicle, and so on. The other one I must admit I'm looking forward to is the Rock Truck Goliath, that's part of the Gene Stealer range, which is a super cool vehicle as well. So you've got some pretty cool vehicle options if you like your vehicles, and they all have their own quirks and everything like that. So this one is really good fun, because once you've done all the way up to this section, you kind of built most of the vehicle, and you got your sub-assemblies for the other two parts. Then you've got your sub-assembly for the gunner on the back of the vehicle as well. So it all adds up, all makes sense, and all looks pretty damn cool. And then when you're done, you can kind of put it all together. However, do not glue all of this together in one go. So paint before putting it finally together. So have your 4 sub-assemblies. So your main vehicle, your gunner, your Grot on the front, and then your Grot who just hangs on. And then do your base coating. Do all your painting, get all your painting done first. If you put your gunner on top, you can't paint the inside, which obscures loads of detail that you can still kind of see. So it's worth painting up in the long run. Doing other bits and pieces just makes life so much more difficult. If you built it all and got it all assembled and then painted it, it'll make it so much more difficult to get all the way done. So this way is far easier for anybody and everybody, whether you're new to the hobby, whether you're an old hand or anything like that. Fully recommend the sub-assembly route, because it will seriously make more sense and be far easier for you. So enjoy that. Moving on from there, the paint section is fairly straightforward. The paint scheme in the magazine, in all honesty, spot on. Can't fault it. It works very well. It does leave us with bits left to do, which is entirely up to you. If you want to carry on with it and you want to do it your own way, you can do. Personally, the colour scheme that I will go for on this is going to be very, very similar. I will be making alterations to parts of it and doing it in my own way in part. So instead of using Mephiston Red as a base coat, essentially for the red areas, I'm going to use Khorne Red. It makes far more sense in my opinion, but Mephiston Red is a slightly more bright and vibrant colour that I'll use as a layer later on. So the Khorne Red sits more in the recesses and acts as a kind of a decent base coat essentially for any brighter colour over the time. So if you go for a dark colour and then go from straight black to Mephiston Red, it can look a bit patchy. It can take a few coats to get it right. If you go Khorne Red over black and then your Mephiston Red on top, far less coats of paint and far faster to paint as well. So that's my way of doing it. That's how I will be doing it. But yeah, just enjoy, have a bit of fun with it. It's really cool. It's a super cool vehicle. The majority of the paint scheme, spot on. Yeah, I can't knock it. Having obviously all the colours work very, very well. It all stands out very, very well. There are other ways of doing everything. It does want you to use Norn oil over pretty much the entirety of the vehicle, because when you're done, you're going to have something that looks like that. Fantastic. It does work very, very well. Obviously, if you want to carry on with it and carry on painting it, because this is only the work in progress, bring back that red colour in part. Obviously, don't go into all the recesses or anything like that. And you can bring back the colour. Go for your edge highlights with, say, like Wild Rider Red. Maybe a little bit of lead belt, just show a little bit of damage and scuffing and stuff like that. And you can have a bit of fun with it. But super, super cool. It's such a cool little vehicle. It'll be really, really good fun. Once you've built it and got it all together, it's going to look really good. You can kind of get everything together on there, even though it's still only the work in progress. You can do it. I would be tempted to, but I would probably recommend waiting a little while on things like the front area. So you've got the so you can paint all them studs and spikes and everything like that are in the tyres. Obviously with things like lead belcher and a little tiny bit of kind of brighter colours, and then Norn oil over the top of it to kind of dull it down a little bit. Give it that little bit of griminess. Have a bit of fun with it though. But yeah, it will look good. It does look pretty decent, and yeah, it's a nice vehicle. Moving on from there though, you've got your collect page. Obviously you can give it its name, you can roll its background and all that good stuff and the usual bits. If you are painting it and you want to go for a box art style paint job, you're going to want to try and copy that checkerboard pattern. Personally, I'm probably not going to do that, and the reason for that is that's a little bit more of a faff than I like personally to do. There are ways of doing it easier, kind of, and that's with masking tape, which can be done. I'm not going to lie, it's not going to be easy, but it can be done if you want it to. So, yeah, there is a way of doing it. Just not very easy. But yeah, entirely up to you. Anywho, enough rambling on. Carrying on from there, your collect page and your data sheet, very, very straightforward. Have a bit of fun with it. Enjoy playing with this bad boy because that's really, really cool. And then we move straight on to our scenario. So obviously, as you can see, there is no lore in this because all of that is all to do with the Boom Dakka Snazzwagon. Then we're moving straight on. So the scenario we're playing is the Speed Freak. So this, if you really, really wanted to, you could play this in multiple different ways. So if you have obviously still got your Space Marine Chaplain, you can utilize him. If you wanted to swap out the Chaplain for another Orc vehicle, you could really with this scenario. So if you're unaware, there was actually at one point a box game kind of thing, which is Warhammer 40k Speed Freaks. It's now being made into a video game and all that type of stuff, which is all to do with the orcs racing each other in vehicles. So there are many, many different orc vehicles to get, and if you want to get other vehicles, you can do. So could be worth doing if you like the orc vehicles anyway. So it's more of a racetrack style battle instead of a regular head-to-head smashy battle. Have a bit of fun with it. So it's all to do with movement and shooting. You're kind of not really going to be doing as much of the actual fighting phase stuff unless they're really next to each other. But otherwise, that's super cool. It's quite fun. It's a little bit more enjoyable. It's all about chasing down the chaplain on bike from the Space Marine range, and yeah, chasing down with the boom Dakka Snazzwagon, because why the hell not? On that page, you do get a different colour scheme. So if you did want to go for a different colour scheme of the orcs, you could always try that one. Not gonna lie, it looks really nice. I wouldn't try it personally. I'm going to go for red. I think the red looks really cool, makes it look so much more fun. But orcs with face paint, with the blue face paint on and stuff like that, is also really good fun as well. So yeah, cool options. Then moving on, in all honesty, we have very little else to talk about apart from next week. Obviously we have the Einir Halfguard, the last unit for our Leagues of Votann range from this magazine's run, and then issue 61 we move into the Gene Stealer cults. So we get the Magus to kind of get us going, then we'll have a few other bits and pieces, and we also get that Rock Truck Goliath, I think it's called, vehicle, which is also pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to that. That should be really good stuff. Then we get Astrum Militarum, then we get World Eaters, which includes things like the Forge Fiend and stuff like that. So there are some real good issues to look forward to. Obviously, Leagues of Votann, really cool. One of my favourite armies in 40k. Gene Stealer cults should be really good fun. Personally, never painted any before, and I'm going to enjoy that. Now, before we go, a quick update about Warhammer Spearhead magazine. Obviously, it's had its trial run, which is over and done with. There has been some updates shared online from people that have received emails. If you took part in the trial run and you subscribed, you may get a free gift for it from good old Hatchet Partworks. The other news to that is the magazine is coming out in March. So we have a few months to get through without there being two magazines on the trot, which, if I've worked it out rightly, if it's coming out early March, then we should be within the last probably 10 to 15 issues of Combat Patrol before Spearhead comes out, which my bank balance will thank me for, in all honesty. But otherwise, that is it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye bye now.